what is going on with all the plane accidents, all of this upheaval, things that seem not like we're being told the truth. We're going to get into that in this video. If you don't know who I am Michelle Patterson. This is Angel Souls, and I'm an angel medium. I am less about predictions, although those come up from time to time, if it is okay for us to know it and it's not going to interfere with our human free will or with our soul contract. Mostly what I do is help us understand how to come through certain events and how to have the most spiritual growth as we go through this. So there is the collective energy. That would be everyone's energy. This would be other people putting their free will over others. And then there would be us as the individuals and how we might respond to this. I want to start with what has been coming through to deliver to you, if you found this video, what you need to hear the most right now. So we're going to get into the whole plane thing in a minute, okay? This is what you need to know. The devil is working overtime. And there's a lot of ways that this is playing out, and there are a lot of ways that this energy is, pardon me, been working through people and trying to knock people down. So let's just start from the beginning. If you have anybody who is tearing you down in one way or another, there is a dark energy working through them. What might this look like? This is something that has come through Archangel Michael, wanted me to bring to you along with Archangel Gabriel, okay? So if you have people who are diminishing, leave you out of things, judgmental, just anything to psychologically mess with you, or they're trying to have some sort of power struggle over you, anyone who wants to keep you small, like if you have coworkers who, they know darn well you walked in and you have talent and you have know-how and you're well educated, and they are threatened by that. They may do everything to sabotage you so that you don't feel good about yourself, and this is how people end up losing themselves within their work, not in a positive way. You may have people just trying to get in your way. Now, be careful with this. We don't want to look at everybody who is creating an obstacle and automatically assume like there's evil working through them. A lot of people are tired. A lot of people are scrambled and a little bit scattered themselves, trying to find their footing and find their way. Okay, so be very discerning. I can guarantee you that a lot of those people who have darkness working through them are watching this video because they don't make their own light. So they have to chase light. And they have to take. The other way that darkness is trying to throw you off, again, we want to be careful with this. We want to be discerning with everything. But when you have people coming out on these videos and leaving comments claiming fear-mongering, if this person really was an angel medium, they wouldn't be talking like that. Those are all signs and signals that they are trying to detract you. Clearly something was said that they don't like, okay? Now, some of you might be watching that going, well, what if you just sparked a fear in them? Somebody who's fearful may go, man, that kind of freaked me out, and then they would leave it alone. The darkness goes in. It has to leave the long comment. It has to go out on a smear campaign. It has to throw daggers, judgment, okay? It actually gets into slander and defamation as well. So those are just some of the ways that you are going to be thrown off course. There are going to be other things like guilt and shame tactics. You should feel happy to have mandatory unpaid overtime. You should feel happy that we're letting you be here doing the work of 3 or 4 people. There's going to be more of that coming because companies are, paring down on their staff. You should feel lucky that we allow you to be here and work you 16 hours a day, or, force you to drive in hazardous conditions to get somewhere. You see what I'm saying? So those kinds of things we have had normalized. And there are still some people who would laugh at that and say, well, that's just being a hard worker. No, that's being brainwashed. That is being brainwashed. When people are being stifled and they can't have their voice, they can't be happy. You know, you're working day in and day out to have no time for yourself. And then especially if you're a woman, a straight woman, then you get that added thing of, well, you're not taking care of yourself. Therefore, in some people's eyes, you're less valuable as a woman because you're not putting on the attractiveness as is designated by whatever wackadoodle source out there. I don't know. Things like that. Anything to just tear us down. Look for possessiveness. Power struggles. We said that. Domineering behaviors. You will do as I say. And you'll be seeing this out of people who, there's something creepy going on. Pardon me. You will be seeing people who normally are pretty chill, whatever. Now all of a sudden they're trying to keep you small or trying to get you to remember your place. And it's very manipulative. And I've been seeing this myself where people, oh, by the way, no active listening, only listening to respond. Always talking about yourself, all roads lead back to you, and you think it's cute and you call it ADHD. Baby, that's not what's going on here. We got a little touch of the devil in you, okay? Like there's a little bit, some of it's energy overlay, some of it's actually imprinting, and some of it is full-on possession. So you will have people manipulating what you're saying, twisting what you were saying, trying to make you feel bad, right? Like cutting you off mid-sentence. And sometimes it's not cutting you off with words. Sometimes it's a face. It's a response, like something in their body language that stops you cold. That's how you know. If it's something like it's your bestie who, there's like an inside joke in what you just said, like that's different, right? But I'm talking about somebody who stops you cold in your tracks because something weird is going on here and you don't know what it is. Again, that shame, that guilt, just wanting to come at you and make you feel bad and put meaning on your words that you did not intend. So a lot of that will be going on. Again, distractions. And yeah, some people see a lot of these events as distractions. We'll talk about it, and we'll talk about how you can get prepared. It's going to be a longer video, so I hope you can hang in there with me. But the distractions come in a very mundane kind of way as well. Like I said, people talking incessantly at you, won't let you say anything. You start to talk, and they talk right over you. I'm even hearing now that these dark beings that are around them and working through them are poking them to speak to silence the other person. Now, there are going to be a lot of people out there who are like, God, this is crazy. What are you talking about? Number one, you're probably one of the people who are doing exactly what I'm talking about. But a lot of people are influenced and not in a positive way. I know I have had personally, I've been sick 3 times since November, and we just got into February. 3 times. And I get migraines and things like that, but I hardly ever get like so sick that, I'm kind of knocked down for the count. And then it's just been one thing after another, obstacles being put in my way. And I recognize it because I can feel it. See, I'm trying to get the message out. I can't get this out because I will feel it in the moment. I will feel like sometimes I can discern like, oh, this is just energies colliding. This is just how this goes. And then other times I've been known to flat out in my house by myself say, stop it. I command you to leave. Because I go to fix something and 10 other things fall down. Or, I go to pick something up and something falls over on me. I'm not kidding. And it's not my house. This house has beautiful energy. I could feel the energies of all the families that have lived here before. This house is old. It was built in 1890. So that has a good energy. As a matter of fact, I feel pretty protected here. I've had some weird moments in the house, but that's from outside people trying to come up to my door and, ask for certain things, or just walking into my house. Yes, that happened. So a lot of odd circumstances happening in your personal life. Yes. So be aware of that. Be aware of that working through you. I am stunned at how often it's okay to get a reading with me and you want to look at surface level things, but especially when we're doing a live, I can see you. I can see you getting irritated because we're going deep. Getting irritated because something that you might need to take accountability for is coming up. You're exposing yourselves. Now, I can understand why a lot of people might be scared of me. That used to hurt my feelings previously, because I was like, I don't want anybody to feel bad. And I still stand by that. But I'm growing in my belief system and in my experiences along with everybody else. And I know a lot more now than I did back then. And now I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry if you're scared of me. I'm not sorry if I bother you. And I'm not even going to ask you to ask yourself why, because I don't think you're going to do the work. Now, to everyone else who is out there and you're like, yeah, someone finally said it out loud. Thank God. We're here with each other. We have each other. And it's time to gear up. I personally am a little disappointed myself in how things are going. We knew that there would be people trying it, but darkness is really doubling down now. And when I tuned in, what I've been asked to bring forward is for you to get prepared. Okay? Hold on. Apologies for the coughing. If you guys have been hanging around here, you know. So to get prepared, and here are some weird ways to get prepared if you are on this, like people who are just thinking about themselves. You just want to know if you're going to get a love partner. You're just wondering if you're going to get that promotion, or you're one of the people who's constantly making people at work feel stupid so that you feel more important. Everyone sees you. Everyone sees that you're insecure and that you have to control, or have power struggles or whatever. Or you see the people in your town not interested in any of the good of the town or of the community. They just want to have like a high position. They just want to look good. You know what I'm saying? Politics, politics, and the division around that as well, getting pulled in a lot of different directions. So if you are one of the, it's a silly term, I suppose, but spirit warriors, whatever. Okay. I don't have a better term for it, but you've been called up, and I bet you have felt it. And here's how you know, because the 9-to-5 job seems extra stupid. Like, you need it. You need the benefits and steady paycheck. You need it, but it's starting to seem like, God, this is also made up. Like, I'm talking in a dimensional sense, right? Like, this is also made up. Like, you're becoming hyper aware of the separation of the story. Now, okay, we have to be careful with what we're talking about here. I'm not a psychologist. We are not talking about certain mental health disorders where, you're living in one world and then, you see what I'm saying? So be careful with this. Be careful with this. I'm talking about, you'll feel it, can I say it on a spiritual level? I don't know how else to say it. On a very deep level. Why are humans like this? Why is kindness taken advantage of? You know what's so funny? You guys know I'm a stellium Scorpio. So if I wanted to unleash it, I could, okay? But I don't. And I don't want people to feel hurt. I want there to be kindness and goodness in the world. But when I am kind to people, I get walked over. I get forgotten. I get dismissed. disrespect. When I am unfriendly and focused, people start kind of wobbling a little bit, especially people who would normally try to come at me and have power struggles. They start to wobble. And now they're kind of kissing my behind a little bit. Disappointing. But don't let that deter you from being a good person. All right? You will know that you're being called up. One, this feels like there's this separation between what's going on and what you know to be true. Now, I'm not talking in conspiracy theory ways. This is not an intellectual thing. This is a full body, layered, energetic body experience. Secondly, you know because you know certain things are not worth complaining about because this must come to pass. I didn't complain when certain political things went down the way they did. And I felt like I was being pressured to be more angry. But you sense that there's some importance to all of this, that this must come to pass. Whether that is a contrast and we learn through that contrast. See, we're always trying to put this in our third dimensional ego consciousness little box to make it make sense. Give that up. It's not happening. And it's self-indulgent. Make it make sense for my ego. No. Who are you talking to right now? Are you new here? Go back. I have thousands upon thousands of videos. Go back and look. You know that it's not worth yelling and screaming about things because it's going to be an energy drain, and you know this has to play out. When events occur, they do not surprise you. They may make you sad, obviously. It does not surprise you. When you are somebody who's being called up, especially when we're talking about angelic frequency, we're talking about angelic help, you're being called to do that, you don't typically get into the fray of what we call, forgive the term, but what we are calling the conspiracy theory mindset. Now, there are people out there who are meant and built to go into that mindset for very good reason. You know, they were the ones talking to us about the pandemic, before it even happened. And people said, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. That's fear-mongering. There's that darkness trying to get us unprepared when someone's trying to tell us the truth. They're telling the truth right in our face, and we're just not believing them, or, you know what I mean? Or even worse, talking down to them. So that's not the gig either. That's not what we're trying to do here. But if you know that you're being called up, you know that there's something else going on. Like being controlled up here, right? And a lot of that being the reason why some of these events are transpiring. So there's that. So again, I want to make that distinction. It's not this intellectual pursuit to try to find the truth, and although that has its value, that's not what we're doing here as the angelic help. We get a sense of the plan and the play as it's going on. There's something else coming in here, but we'll wait to the third part of the video here to bring that up. So the sense of preparedness. Now, you know you need to do this. Yes, there are practical things to do, but here are the energetic things to do. And they're going to sound silly and mundane, but hang with me. Number 1, declutter your home. I know, I told you. It's what? That's not profound. Hang with me. This is important. You need to free up the energy in your home. And especially, listen, hey, I am the worst at hanging on to things. You'll see me wear clothes that I've had from 7 years ago in videos. It's been documented. I've been on YouTube for 11 years. You know what I mean? So, you can see where I pulled an old sweater out and it's from ages ago. So don't hoard things, okay? Those things could be valuable to someone else. If you're not using it, don't just hang on to it. Get rid of it, okay? Now, this is not a time to just pitch things. We are talking about letting others use it, letting other people have it. If you're like my family, every year somebody gets a blanket. Okay, if you have 30,000 blankets around your house, keep some for you and your family, clean, repair, make sure it's in good shape, and donate it to someone who might have some use for it. Okay, so there's that. There's also just having clearer energy in your home. You're going to need that. You're going to need that energy flow. And the, pardon me, the practical side behind that would be if the power were to go out. We done ticked off Canada. Canada, I love you. I love you. I love you, Mexico, too. I don't know what's going on, okay? I mean, I do. I do. But, like, we're good, right? We're good? I love you. Okay, I love you. But if the power were to go out, you don't want anything hindering you to get to the things that you need. You see what I mean? So the idea here is not to have a drawer that you're rummaging through trying to find supplies. Okay, just as a simplistic example. But more, it's about the energy flow. 2, all your regular survival stuff. Okay, so making sure that you do know how, making sure you do know how to do things like forage. Make sure you know homeopathy. Michelle, I can't believe you're talking. You think I can't see soul energy? That's what I do. I see you. We're not going to be silenced. You're not going to shut us up. You're not going to shame us into silence. There's a reason why I have certain things on my face right now. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, then I just put you on a Google goose chase. Wow, goose chase. Figure it out, okay? So this is getting ready, food-wise. Learn how to get in touch with the earth. Now, a lot of you already know how to grow things and all of that. But I have like a little mini greenhouse that I purchased. But I live alone and I have a back porch. So I'm going to put that together and I'll have my little mini garden out there, you know, that I can even start now if I wanted to. So those kinds of things. Make sure, I was saying homeopathic remedies, but, you know, I'm not saying that you can't use Western medicine. Okay, like everybody chill. I'm not saying that's a replacement, okay? But, you know, you want to be well stocked on whatever it is that you think you need. You do not need your phone. Oh, well, why? I have to communicate with Pippa. You know, listen, hey, yo. People back tribes didn't have phones. They figured it out, okay? They didn't have electricity. They figured it out. There's a cleansing. I hate to put it that way, but there's this energy that's breaking and some of the dark energy has to be cleansed away. And that is going to be an ugly process. If we're going to be in the rebuilding stage, we have to be willing to take those steps. Okay. Now, some people, that dark energy is what they're used to. Feels normal, feels comfortable, familiar. And it has such a deep disguise that it'll feel like a part of you is missing, but that had to go. That had to go. All right. So making sure that you have clean water, okay, or a way to get clean water. Now, I'm very fortunate. My hometown was built around a river for just that reason. Okay. We're going to be getting back to basics here, and it's stripping away everything that might have been in the way, so that we can come together as a community. Now, I am very fortunate. I live around people who we do nothing but step up for each other. And I love it. We got some snot bags around here who like stick their noses up in the air. But they'll be the first ones clamoring at our door and like, oh no, we need, blah, 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 blah. Now, am I talking about utter devastation? Let's get into the events now, okay? There's more prep that would be occurring in the practical sense. But if you're a spiritual person, you already know that the spiritual fortification that you need to be doing, you've been doing it. So we don't need to talk about that, right? You already know to do that. And remember, if you're like, what are you talking about? I haven't been doing nothing. I just got here. Oh my gosh, am I gonna be caught up in all of this? No, that's why you have a lot of people like me and a lot of the community here. We're not here to save you, but we can be here as a support and to help you realize what you need to do when the time is right. You have to do it for yourself, though. Okay. So let's talk about some of these events. Lots. Going into what I was just saying about being ready to be without electricity. Yeah. I don't know that that is a several months long process. I don't know. See, these energies are coming. This is why I have a problem with people who are like, they're psychic readers who say definitively this, because their whole job is to stick with a prediction to see if it comes to pass. My brothers and sisters and my siblings out there, like, who are psychic readers, come on. You and I both know that's not how that works. You're putting an energy behind the strongest trajectory that you're picking up on. And I know it's a business. I know that you're working with human egos that have to be dazzled by the proof and all of that. But it's okay to say, here's the trajectory that has the strongest energy behind it, and this is how I think it'll play out. But it could go this way, it could go this way. People are going to hate it, I know, but it's okay. People can handle it. People can handle how this actually works, right? So I think maybe it would be refreshing if people expressed that more instead of, some of these readers who are like, I know what I know and you can't tell me nothing. It's this. They're 98% of the time wrong. So like, I don't know what they're getting so cocky about. You know what I mean? Like, you're mostly wrong. Although there have been a couple of psychics out here who predicted these plane events. So anyway, yeah. So the power going down, it might be a week or two. Remember, I'm not really into predictions, but I'm feeling out the energy around this. And I'm also feeling what Archangel Michael and Gabriel are telling us to be prepared for. And as far as not needing a phone and people saying, well, how do I get in touch with my loved ones? You got to get a plan. If the phones were to go down, how would I get in touch with my loved ones? Yes. So there's that part. Water supply. Water supply is going to be, I'm hearing contamination. So there could be contaminants. And, if there's no electricity to do the pumps and, all of that. I mean, I'm assuming that's how that works, right? Unless you guys have like a mill. I don't know. Do you? I mean, I don't know how that works. So maybe someone's like, yeah, of course we do. We got this whole thing, but you want to be prepared with clean water as well. A lot of you already know this. This is not that dazzling. Okay. But the power going down, I'm telling y'all, I'm recording this before the Super Bowl. If Canada, there's jokes going around that Canada's going to pull the plug on the electrical grid, like during the Super Bowl. I think it, okay, Canada, I'll see you. Okay. Like, but in all seriousness, I do think that could be, an event of opportunity for people who are evil and want to do evil things, or they're being controlled. Okay. So there's that, the planes. As always, anybody who comments on these things, we have to be ethical, number one, moral, and we have to be protective of ourselves. And I'm just going to put out there, out of control. No one's fault. Okay? No one's fault. Out of control. Now, a lot of you are going to pick up what I'm throwing down there, out of their hands. Okay? So there's that. Will there be other moments? Listen, I'm not sitting here telling you to be afraid to fly, especially some people you can't help. You have to fly. But I will warn you that there will be more and more outages, and you could be stranded somewhere. So if you are going to still choose to do air travel, I want you to be really good, be working on that spiritual self. Get really good. If you're like, how do I do that? I have, again, thousands of videos on this channel. And then I have angelsouls.gumroad.com. Lots of videos over there teaching you how to do these things. Okay. So wherever you want to land, however, or if you don't feel like you want to learn from me, that's okay. Baby, I just want you to be covered. Okay. Just make sure you're discerning. Make sure it's somebody with a good energy. lots of beautiful, intelligent, wonderful practitioners out there who are bringing through their own bit of information. So you go wherever you're comfortable and wherever you feel like you're being supported and loved. Okay. My style's not for everyone, and that's okay. All right. So making sure that you're paying attention to your instincts. Say when you're at an airport and people are like, well, people are just getting paranoid or be paranoid. I don't care. I mean, I do care. I don't want you to be paranoid. But, if you feel like I shouldn't get on this flight, then you don't get on that flight. This goes for trains as well. Anything that's being controlled by an electrical system, AI, or by one person. So, or two people. Like there would be some pilots, but they're, relying on instruments. Someone driving a train, I'm assuming there's some sort of system there. All those things could go down. Okay, it already has. So that may happen again. I'm definitely feeling like there's another incident over water. And involving boats. So is now the time to be I hate to say this. It's now the time to be going on a vacation. You'll be all right. But if you have a little snafu on your cruise or something, just try to plan ahead. So again, going back to the air travel, if you're going to be traveling by air, make sure you're packing accordingly. A lot of people don't stop and think, especially if you don't fly very often. Your bag, like if you're going to take a personal item, we're going into the airline stuff here for a second, but if you're taking a personal item and you're bringing a carry-on, there's no guarantee that carry-on is going to stay with you. You might have to gate check it. If it doesn't fit, overhead bin space is taken, what have you. So you always want to make sure that your personal item, I sound like an advertisement for an airline, fits under the seat in front of you and has your eyeglasses, your medication, your passport, your driver's license, your wallet. I personally always traveled with Travel Tips by Michelle. I always made sure that I had some sort of food in there. Mostly because of during COVID, like restaurants were closed. And so I got used to carrying airplane friendly food so that don't bring anything with nuts in it. But something that will not perish either, non-perishable kind of food. And having that there. And then when I was in the airport, once I got to the gate, usually I'd buy a bottle of water to take on the plane. Now, you can't bring that through security if you don't travel very often and you don't know this. You can't bring a bottle of water through security. Okay? There are different rules for babies and formula and things like that, but that's a whole other thing. So just make sure that if you had to be stuck in an airport, do you have what you need on your personal item thing in case you do get separated from your carry-on? All right. I'm talking. Listen, I got all the luxury tips. I'm gonna go further with this. Inflatable neck pillow, invaluable. An infinity scarf. I don't care who you are. Make sure you have an infinity scarf. Those suckers are like instant blankets if you need one. Okay. Just wear it around your neck and then you can pull it around. I can't tell you how many. It was almost like a little sling and I could sleep within it. Not like my whole body, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of got it wrapped around me and it was comforting. You can carry your phone usually. Sometimes those have pockets. You can get ones with pockets, but make sure you have a nice big infinity scarf. Just things like that, all right? So that you can, be prepared. But yeah, I'm personally not taking any trips. And I never say that. I'm going nowhere. I'm staying right where I'm at. And I would also, okay. France, I need you to step forward. You're a bunch of troublemakers, and I love you for it. Okay, I love you for it. So France is going to be ripping it up, per usual. Yeah. I do think there's some movement going on here in Europe. This feels like around June. Troops moving. but it's in Europe. It's not in the Middle East. So it could involve the Middle East, but this is two things going on. So there are troops moving in, and then there are protests. And I think this has a lot to do with people fighting back because, again, spiritually, your soul is very intelligent. And so your soul's like, okay, we'll play by the earth rules to a certain extent. But then you just activated something on our timeline, on our soul's contract, that said we're supposed to stop whatever injustice is coming through, right? So people are going to be sort of lit up in that way. And we're going to be seeing it in Italy. You're right there too, baby. You're right there too, with protests. Again, it feels like it's mid-year, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see what's going on around that time. But people just aren't taking it anymore. And Greece, ooh, okay. These are all protests. These are all protests. Now, some of you are going to comment and say, well, people around the world are protesting on behalf of Americans and trying to help us out. Thank you all so much. And I love you. Ireland, I love you. Scotland, I love you. Thank you. But this is something separate. This is, I mean, it might be the same kind of thing, but we're not talking about the ones that are going on right this moment. Lots of flooding, those kinds of things. And I'm talking like this might be like tsunamis, a tsunami. I can't tell if I'm hearing Thailand or Taiwan because it kind of fades out. But that region of the world, and of course, you know, California's being burned to the ground. Like it's fire and ice, and we're seeing that. And there's going to be more of that. Is war looming? Yes, it is. Oh, you don't like that? None of us do. You don't like that someone said it? What would be better? For people to just be living their lives and it just shows up at their doorstep? And then what? You would be the exact kind of person who would then turn around and blame someone like me and say, I thought you were supposed to be protecting people. You didn't even bother to tell us this was coming. We ain't taking it anymore. And fellow readers and practitioners, let's just stop being competitive with one another and start embracing each other, because we go through the same stuff. Why aren't we being there for each other? We're all treated like outsiders in this society. We're always treated like the crazy ones or the ones that people just sort of amuse. You know, we're gonna humor you with your weird ideas and all that. And then the stuff that we say usually comes to pass. So there are going to be lots of, on the positive side of things, there's going to be lots of inventions coming out, unfortunately out of necessity, but lots of quirky things. You're going to see artists, the weirder they are, the better people like it. Gen Z, I am so impressed with you. I am always so impressed with you and your creativity. And I cannot wait to see what else you come up with. Gen Alpha, I'm scared of you. Whew. I can't even talk about it anymore. There's going to be a 5-year-old coming after me. Like, I don't know. Who's raising Gen Alpha right now? Anybody? Are you okay? Are you okay? Blink twice if you need help. All right. So those are the kinds of things that are going on here. And people are like, you know, with the planes, you know, was this targeted, and controlled. And yet there's another layer there that does have to do with the skaters. Like something's off there. Like it's not what we think. And unfortunately, there were so many beautiful souls that ended up going all at the same time. So again, I am speaking in riddles here. Not even riddles. They're not even riddles. I hate riddles. I'm speaking extremely vaguely here. And I don't care if your little ego is hurt by it. Stop. It's a new day, baby. I am so sick of the nonsense. I'm old and crusty. I think this is called being bitter. I think this is called being jaded. Maybe. Or it's I just woke up and I got through that part of the soul's contract, and so I don't have to take it anymore. I'm on the other side of it now. So we'll have to see how that goes. All right. Now, lots of things are going to be occurring. Okay. And this is already like a 45-minute video. So leave your comments down below. Let me know if there are thoughts that you have about this. Did anything spark your awareness? And if you see me not answering your comments, I'm probably sick again. Okay. Honestly, I have not been this sick so often in decades. And I know exactly what it is. We are in spiritual warfare. And there will be people out there. Remember, every time we say something like that, it's like, oh my gosh, that's so stupid. They don't know anything. They don't know, but they're going to keep running their mouths. I know. Okay, let me put it into this context. This is the way that most people would understand it. You have been run ragged. And you have had so many responsibilities, and you got stressed. I shouldn't air quote. You're actually getting stressed. But like, the people will put it under the guise of it's just stress. And stress lowers your immune system, and then you get sick. Or is it the light biters, right? Coming after you and just taking. And then in your face, someone says, we have demands of you. If you don't do this, and if you don't show up like that. Social demands, work demands, family demands, love partner demands. Children demands. Political demands. I've never been so busy in all my life. That will take your light. A lot of good things are going to come out of this. I am exceptionally excited about the art that's going to be coming. The music is already quirky and but refreshing. That's happening, and it's a lot of women artists that are doing it. Love all my other artists too, of course, but I think it's interesting to see young Gen Z women going out there and crafting their careers and delivering messages, and you're going to be getting them from all over. Okay, I could say so much more on this topic, but leave your comments down below. We'll leave it there. I'm going to record a weekly. And then I did record some dailies last week, but I was pretty sick and trying to just keep up with what was already on my plate. So I didn't get those edited and loaded, but I'll take care of that. Gumroad.com. I think it's angelsouls.gumroad. I can't even get it out. angelsouls.gumroad.com. You can get over there and look at some of those courses. I did, if you're outside the U.S. and one of the countries where I can't really accept payment through my website because of tax reasons, Gumroad, we can now do that through Gumroad. Okay, but there's only a few countries where that really affects. It's listed on my website. So my website is angelsouls444.com. You'll see there. Some of you would have to go over to Gumroad to submit payment if you wanted a reading. So let's just leave it there. Keep me posted on how you are. I love you, and take care.